You might think vitamins are just extras, but if you're a man over 60, missing even one of these three could quietly drain your energy, weaken your muscles, and kill your performance without warning. This isn't about boosting. This is about survival. These vitamins control blood flow, testosterone, movement, memory, drive, and how your body responds when it matters most. Most men your age are running low right now, and they have no idea. If you felt softer, slower, or less like yourself lately, don't blame age. These missing nutrients could be the real reason. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your body's been missing and how to get it back. Story 1. How was 67, retired early, still jogging twice a week, and looked fit on the outside. But when he came to me, his voice cracked. "Doc, I don't get it. My heart's fine, I eat clean. I'm not diabetic, but I just can't perform anymore." He wasn't talking about stamina, he meant in bed. Erections were weaker, slower. Sometimes it wouldn't even happen. He said it felt like something inside had disconnected. His confidence was slipping. His wife noticed too. No blood pressure pills, no cholesterol meds. Just aging. But aging comes with something no man talks about: low nitric oxide. You can't see it, you can't feel it directly, but without it, your entire sexual system breaks down. Erections don't just need blood, they need a signal. That signal is nitric oxide, and L-arginine is the fuel that makes it. I told him, your arteries aren't blocked, your engine's fine, but the spark plug's dead. L-arginine is that spark. It's the amino acid that helps your endothelium, those inner artery walls, release nitric oxide on command. Without it, blood can't flow in fast enough, or stay there long enough. What you get is a half response, a start, then collapse. And with time, your body starts giving up trying. Here's the science. After 60, your natural nitric oxide production drops by up to 75%. That's not a typo, 75%. And the reason is simple. Arginine uptake slows with age. The enzyme that converts arginine into nitric oxide, called enos, becomes less active. ADD, stress, poor sleep, or even minor inflammation, and the whole pathway stalls. Now here's what shocked him. Even though he wasn't diabetic, his morning erections had vanished. His pelvic blood flow was 30% lower than normal. His testosterone was average, but it didn't matter, because without nitric oxide, the hormone couldn't do its job. I started him on 3,000 milligrams of L-arginine, once in the morning and once before dinner on an empty stomach. Why that timing? Because insulin and food slow absorption, arginine needs to flood in fast to reach the vessels that matter. I also had him add beetroot and pomegranate to his routine, 2 nitric oxide boosters that worked synergistically with arginine. Within 3 weeks, he felt the difference. Morning firmness returned, the delay time before intercourse shrank. He no longer feared failure before trying, and that changed his mindset. He told me, "I'm not 25 again, but I don't feel broken." But I warned him, L-arginine is powerful, but not a magic bullet. It works best when your arteries are still flexible. It helps men who are structurally okay but signaling poorly. That's why it worked for him. No diabetes, no severe vascular disease. Just low nitric oxide and silent endothelial fatigue. And there's more. Arginine doesn't just help erections, it boosts circulation across the whole body. His hands and feet stopped feeling cold. His mental clarity sharpened, and most importantly, it helped his workout recovery. That's not a coincidence. L-arginine improves oxygen delivery and supports growth hormone release, both critical for men over 60 trying to stay strong. Now, let's talk about the side effects. He had none, but I always advise caution. Arginine can lower blood pressure slightly if you're already on meds. For hypertension, you must monitor. It can also trigger herpes outbreaks in those with a history of cold sores because the virus feeds on arginine. In that case, pairing it with lysine or switching to citrulline may be safer. Most men don't need massive doses. The sweet spot between 3,000 and 6,000 milligrams daily, split in 2 servings. Always taken on an empty stomach and always paired with lifestyle support. Hydration, nitrate-rich foods, and resistance training multiply the benefit. If you're over 60, not diabetic, but struggling with delayed response, incomplete erection, or weak stamina, this is your wake-up call. The problem isn't just in your mind, it's not your testosterone alone. It's nitric oxide, and L-arginine can be the missing link. This patient didn't need pills. He didn't need implants. He needed someone to trace the circuit. Arginine turned the current back on. Blood flowed again. Confidence returned. And for the first time in years, he told me he felt hopeful, not ashamed. So if you felt softer than normal, if your mornings are silent, if you've pulled away from your partner out of quiet, frustration, don't stay silent. There's a path forward and it starts with one molecule your body already knows: arginine. Give it the fuel, the rest will follow. Story 2. He was 69. Widowed for 5 years, starting over again, he'd met someone new, and for the first time in years, had felt hopeful. But something was off. His energy felt thin, his mind was slower, and in the bedroom, he couldn't perform the way he used to. Erections were soft, slow sometimes, disappearing entirely. Hay said, "Doc, I'm there emotionally, but physically, it's like my body gave up." Hay wasn't diabetic. His heart was stable, no major conditions. But his symptoms: low desire, soft erections, muscle weakness, emotional detachment pointed to one silent root. His omega-3 index came back at 3.8%. That's a red zone for any man over 60. That level is dangerous. Because without enough EPA and DHA, the very fats that line your blood vessels and feed your brain, your whole system starts to fall apart. I told him this isn't about testosterone, this is circulation. Most men think erections are about hormones. They're not. They're about blood flow. Omega-3 is repair. The endothelium, the fragile inner lining of your arteries, that's where nitric oxide is produced. And nitric oxide is what makes an erection possible. Without it, the signal never arrives. Blood can't surge in, and what should be firm becomes weak, hesitant, or gone entirely. This patient's arteries weren't fully blocked, but they were stiff, inflexible, lacking the vascular tone needed to respond, and that stiffness was slowly starving his penis of blood, starving his brain of oxygen, and shutting down emotional drive, because omega-3 also regulate serotonin, dopamine, the brain's motivation, arousal, and confidence chemicals. Low DHA makes everything feel dull, disconnected. And flat intimacy becomes a mechanical struggle, not an emotional connection. I started him on 2,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA daily. Not flaxseed oil, not cheap supermarket pills, but pharmaceutical-grade fish oil in triglyceride form. He took it with lunch every day, and we changed his dinner plate. Salmon twice a week, sardines from the can, avocado, walnuts, and a tablespoon of chia soaked in almond milk before bed. In just 6 weeks, things began to shift. First, his thoughts cleared. He told me he could focus longer, recall names faster, and didn't feel as foggy in the morning. His skin looked healthier than something remarkable. Spontaneous morning erections. Something he hadn't seen in months. It caught me off guard, he said, laughing. But I felt like me again. That wasn't a coincidence. Studies show that men with omega-3 indexes above 6.5% have significantly better endothelial function, lower triglycerides, and improved erectile scores, even without medications. This is blood flow at work. Clean arteries, flexible vessels, nitric oxide signaling that actually responds. And unlike a pill that wears off in hours, omega-3 rebuild that function from the inside. But the effects didn't stop in the bedroom. His muscles recover faster. He had more endurance during yard work, fewer cramps at night, and better sleep. EPA helps control inflammation in the joints and muscle tissues. DHA supports neural repair together. They restore cellular membranes and help testosterone travel more efficiently. Target tissues without raising testosterone artificially or disrupting balance. What most men don't realize is that intimacy is a full-body event. It requires physical stamina, vascular strength, emotional presence, and neurological clarity. Omega-3s touch every one of those systems. They also reduce cortisol spikes, those sudden stress waves that kill arousal and trigger performance anxiety. By month 2, he said, his anxiety was down, his breathing felt easier, and he was finally enjoying the moment again, with no pills, no panic. But there's a problem. Most men take the wrong kind. Standard fish oil capsules contain just 250 milligrams of EPA combined. That's only 1/8 of what the body needs for real change. You'd need 8 to 10 capsules daily to hit therapeutic range. And, worse, many are oxidized. That means they're rancid, inflammatory, and useless. They smell fishy, cause burps and actually damage vessel linings. He avoided that by sticking with third-party tested, high EPA triglyceride oil. It cost more, but it worked by week 10. His omega-3 index climbed to 7.2%. And his partner noticed. She told him, "You're back. You're present." That moment meant more to him than any number. Had felt broken now. He felt capable, not just sexually but emotionally, physically and mentally aligned again. This transformation didn't come from testosterone gels or ed pills. It came from cellular repair. Omega-3s don't force the body. They teach it to respond. They restore the signal, the flow, the rhythm. This patient had no clue. His symptoms were related to fat deficiency. And most men over 60 don't either. So if you're over 60, struggling with weak erections, low drive muscle soreness, memory slip, or emotional distance, ask yourself, have you checked your omega tiles? If not, that could be the missing link. Not age, not desire, but a vital molecule your arteries, brain, and reproductive system are starving for. You don't need to suffer silently. You don't need to give up or fake your way through it. The right form of omega-3 can rebuild what age, stress, and poor diet have slowly stolen. It can restore the man you were and the connection you thought was lost. Start with food, anchor it with high-quality fish oil, and stay consistent. Because when blood flows, you show up fully. That's not hope, that's biology, and it's waiting for you to act. Story 3. He was 64, diabetic, still working part-time, trying to stay active. His biggest complaint wasn't pain or fatigue, it was what he couldn't say out loud. His erections were weaker, softer, sometimes nothing happened at all. He'd wake up flat, go to bed embarrassed, and every attempt with his wife ended in frustration or apology. Had thought it was just age, maybe stress, maybe sugar. He was taking his pills, walking daily, but intimacy gone. Then came the real shock at his yearly checkup. His testosterone was low. His sperm count was almost zero. His muscles were shrinking. His mood was off. And he couldn't hold an erection for more than a few seconds. Even worse, he started losing sensation in the tip. Like his nerves were giving up. He asked me, is this permanent? I told him no, but we needed to rebuild his circulation, his hormone foundation, and the electrical signaling to that region. That's when I brought up something his previous doctors had never mentioned. Vitamin E. Not the synthetic capsules from the grocery store. Not the low-dose multivitamins, but real bioactive vitamin E. And this is where it gets serious. Vitamin E isn't just for skin or immunity, it's the key fat-soluble antioxidant that protects your arteries, boosts nitric oxide, and prevents the oxidative damage that blocks blood flow to the penis. Most men over 60 are severely low in it. And without vitamin E, your body can't protect the lining of your vessels. That means more stiffness, less dilation, and less oxygen reaching the nerves that control erection. It doesn't just affect your sex life, it changes who you are. Let's break it down. Erections require nitric oxide. That signal tells your vessels to expand and let blood in. But if oxidative stress is high, nitric oxide gets destroyed before it can work. That's why you might feel desire. But nothing happens below. Vitamin E stops that destruction. It shields nitric oxide, calms inflammation, and helps the blood actually stay inside the chambers of the penis, not leak back out. In his case, the fix started slowly. We tested his levels and they were barely measurable. His diet was low in seeds, nuts, avocado, and he never used olive oil. His supplements. Cheap, synthetic E, with almost no effect, so we started real food and natural mixed tocopherols. Within 4 weeks, he started waking up with firmness again. Not every day, but more than he'd seen in years. His confidence shifted. He started initiating again. But vitamin E doesn't just help erections. It's deeply involved in sperm health, testicular function, and testosterone signaling. If you're over 60 and dealing with P or ED, your Leydig cells, the ones that produces testosterone, are under oxidative attack. Without E, they shrink. They underperform. And that drop lowers your libido, your energy, even your response to arousal. Vitamin E is one of the few nutrients proven to restore sperm viability, motility, and testicular integrity in aging men. And it plays one more role that most doctors miss. It preserves muscle mass. Testosterone drives muscle, but E preserves the cell membranes that protect muscle fibers from damage. That means a better response to walking, lifting, or even climbing stairs. And in older men, that translates to better sexual stamina, better pelvic control, and less performance anxiety. When your muscles fire properly, you feel strong enough to engage. Again, that alone changes everything. Now, I know what you're asking. How much is enough? Most seniors only get 5 to 10 milligrams of vitamin E daily from food. but your body needs closer to 100 to 200 milligrams of mixed tocopherols and tocotrienols to see vascular and hormonal repair. The form matters. Alpha tocopherol alone won't cut it. You need a blend gamma delta and tocopherols for full effect, and pills aren't the only answer. Sunflower seeds, almonds, hazelnuts, avocados, and extra virgin olive oil are functional tools eaten daily. They rebuild your antioxidant shield and restore circulation where it's fading most. My patient. He started with a handful of sunflower seeds midday, 1 tablespoon of olive oil in the evening, a supplement with 200 milligrams of mixed tocopherols 3 times a week. He cut down on sugar, added salmon twice a week, and drank more water. Within 8 weeks, his testosterone climbed from 280 to 410. His morning erections returned, his wife noticed his mood lifted, and he finally said, "I feel like a man again." If you're over 60 and dealing with softness, flaccid response, poor stamina, or lost libido, ask yourself this. Has anyone ever checked your vitamin E? Have you felt drier skin, thinning hair, or sluggish recovery from exercise? These are signals your body is asking for repair, and this vitamin could be the piece you've been missing. Don't wait until numbness sets in. Don't wait until your relationships start breaking from silence. One small shift, one nutrient can protect the very systems that hold your manhood together. And if this hit home for you, it's not too late. You can start tonight. You can restore what you thought was gone. You just need the right signal, and vitamin E is that signal. If your energy isn't the same, if your strength slips more each year, if you feel the disconnect in your body before anyone says a word, don't ignore it. These aren't small vitamin gaps, they're warning signs. Your heart, your brain, your manhood, your identity as a man over 60 runs on chemistry. And when just one piece goes missing, everything else starts to fall behind. You don't need more pills, you need precision. You need to repair what time and silence have taken. Start with these 3. Give your body what it's missing, and you might just feel like yourself again. Not 10 years ago. Just whole, present, and fully alive today.